Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Looks like people are still signing on, but we'll do some introductions and get going. As I mentioned, feel free to go into the chat at any time with Alt-H, and we will be monitoring that. And we can't see or hear you, so don't worry about your video being on or if you have noise in the background. We're in webinar mode, which means that we have 3 people that are hosts and co-hosts, and we're the only ones that'll be heard. So welcome. We're really glad that you're here today. We did take a little bit of a break over the summer. We hope that you all had a chance to take some time off and enjoy, but we are back. So we will be back to doing 2 webinars each month. And today is our first one. So we're really thrilled that you're joining us. We have a PowerPoint up on the screen right now, and it says, welcome. How does the MagniLink Vision compare to the Voice? In the lower left-hand corner, there's the picture of the Voice. So you can see that this particular unit does not have a monitor connected to it. We'll talk more about that. You can connect it to a monitor, but we'll talk more about that and show that in just a second. There's also a little speaker with sound waves, so you can tell that this does talk. So both of the units do talk. And then we also have a picture of the MagniLink Vision. This is the new MagniLink Vision. It's full HD. And you see a hand control on each of the units because what we're featuring here is the text-to-speech portion of both of the units. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time today comparing both products, making sure that you understand if you're looking at for a product for yourself or a student or just a person that you know that either has low vision or is legally blind, what would be the best fit? And we'll talk about what types of jobs you're trying to do with the products, and that's going to help really determine what is the best fit for the product. Today will be a combination of PowerPoint. You'll be hearing myself. I'm Kimberly Klein, and we'll also be going live to Sweden where they'll be showing the products, and that will be Christopher, and he'll introduce himself in just a second. So the introduction to LVI America, I'm not sure. I see some names that I know, but I also see some new people joining us today. So I wanted to take a minute and say again, thank everyone for joining, but also give you a little bit of an introduction for LVI America. LVI is our headquarters in Sweden, and they've been making low vision products, and Christopher will talk about them a little bit more when he starts, but for over 43 years. But LVI America, we've been here in America, but they've been selling products in America for years because people would see the products at CISA and ATIA and order. Years and years ago, they would order and it would ship from Sweden. And then we've went through different iterations of bringing products over to America. But now we do have LVI America, and we're going on either our 4th or 5th year, because I've been going with the company now a little over going on my 3rd year. So LVI America, our headquarters actually for here in America, we kind of have 2 different or a little bit of a different situation than we do in Sweden. I'm Kimberly Klein. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. Catherine is on as well today, and she's in Vermont. Our warehouse is in the Illinois area near Chicago, and our service center is in Massachusetts. So all of the products do ship here from America and are serviced here in America. But I'd say the 3 things that I think really make our products stand out and why I came and joined them and why I'm so excited is our cameras. Our camera quality is top notch. And whether you're doing distance, self-viewing, or document viewing, it's the best cameras I've seen. The other thing we'll talk about today is all of our products are very lightweight. So we really spend a lot of time in source materials that are strong, they're durable, but they're very lightweight. And the third thing is ease of use. Just all of our products are very, very, they're very powerful, but they're very streamlined and easy to use. So we'll be showing those 3 things off today. The other thing we wanted to talk about is we're very, very proud and excited to now be offering ACV REP credits. And this is brand new for us. We did it in the past through another company, but Catherine actually went through the process, and we'll talk about that on another slide. And we now have the ability to offer these credits ourselves through the organization we're registered. So we're very excited about that. We'll talk more about that in a minute, how to actually go about getting those CEUs and the steps in the process for that. We will be highlighting today the new Vision. Again, it's full HD. It does have updated design and features, and there's a picture here on the screen of the new Vision. We also will be showing off the MagniLink Voice. It's very transportable, easy to use, and a very powerful device as well. We'll have some time for question and answers. We'll talk about our future webinars. We have a new front panel and new features that we've added. Very easy to use, very fast text to speech. We have simple and advanced mode. You can see the hand control here. It has text to speech with very large tactile buttons. It is the exact same hand control that you use with the voice. So you can literally interchange them. They're exactly the same. It has a built-in oversized XY table, so that is larger than our XY table that's removable that you might be familiar with the Zip. It's oversized, and it's really nice if you're trying to do books or other different things with the Vision. It also has a 23-inch monitor. So I did want to talk about how light that it is, because this is really it's impressive. And I have people contacting me saying that we have the lightest desktop magnifier unit on the market. And we're proud of that, because we do source for the lightest materials, and we're also sourcing for very durable. So it's only 29 pounds. So that is really light. And you can kind of see one of the handles on the side on the right-hand side, but there's a handle on the left and right. So if you're trying to carry it from location to location, it's very easy to be able to do that. The magnification goes 2x to 70x, 70. A little bit more about the Vision. If you order it with TTS, because you can get it with or without TTS, it looks exactly the same, except the one without TTS, there is no hand control. So it looks just like this one right here, where the one I showed you here looks the same, but it has a hand control. So if you're using it with TTS, you do have the ability to save documents, open documents, delete documents. You can also change the file format. You can adjust the size and the font of the actual text on the screen. You can change the display mode. So it takes a picture, it's reading to you, and you only want to see one word at a time. You have the ability to do that. Maybe you want it to be like the ticker tape going across and have it be several words at a time. You have the ability to do that too. There's 7 different display modes, and Christopher will show those live in a minute. Those of you that might be wanting to use this in the schools or in an office or anywhere where you have multiple users, it's really nice because you can configure it with unique profiles. So you could have a setting for a particular person. Maybe they want it in simple mode and they want the speech to be slow and they want the magnification to be a certain size. You can set all of their configurations and save those. So you're not limited to 7 or 10. It's basically as many as you want, because it's actually saving the configurations on the hard drive of the system. You also, of course, once you configure the profiles, you do have the ability to also open them, load them, and change profiles at any time. You can also use the mouse with this particular product as well. And we do support multiple languages. We're an international company. When we ship the product with text-to-speech, the languages that are available to you are English and Spanish, but you can get additional languages. We support up to 30 languages. The next product that will be featured today is the MagniLink One. So I have the MagniLink One on the screen. This is a very portable, lightweight. It's only 5.3 pounds. And you do see the hand control there, because the only way that this particular product comes is with text-to-speech. So that's very unique. Yes.
I think you just said the MagniLink One.
Did I really? I'm sorry. The MagniLink Voice. Woo! Thank you. So the MagniLink One is a different product. So yes, the MagniLink Voice. And so the only way to get this product is with text-to-speech. And you see the hand control there. And so it only comes with the hand control, because you would not just have this product for just doing video. You could plug it into a monitor and use it for that, but most people that are using this are using it as a reader. So this particular product not only is good for someone with low vision, but someone that has no vision at all could use this if they had someone that was reading their mail for them, or they were needing to read different things typewritten, not handwriting. You do have the ability to use this as a reader. Again, very transportable, simple in advanced mode. So just like the Vision that I just mentioned. In fact, the actual TTS and using of the software is exactly the same software. So if you know how to use the Vision with text-to-speech, then you're going to be able to use the voice very, very quickly and easily. It does have HDMI connection to external monitor and TV, and it has voice feedback for all the functions. And so does the Vision with TTS as well, if you're using the TTS portion. I mentioned 5.3 pounds. You can get this with or without a battery. It lasts up to about 5 hours if you have the settings on to have it go to sleep when you're not using it, etc. It's very small. When it's folded, it's 9 by 8 by 2 by 9 by 12 by 6. And that's the width, the depth, and the height. Again, 9 by 8 by 2 by 9 by 12 by 6. And it comes in a really nice carrying case, so you can move it from room to room or even travel with it. We do provide a voice quick start guide, and it really kind of goes through the controls, how to turn it on and off, and how to do placing the document. There's 2 little notches, and you can see the paper on the picture that I have right below. So you're never guessing where to place the document. There's a notch on the left and right, and you just slide the paper right in there. And of course, we want to make sure that everybody knows how to change the volume and reading speed, pause and play, settings menu. And again, you can use it in simple and advanced. Whoops, I went too far. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Christopher's going to go live in Sweden. And again, you guys, we're monitoring chat. So if you have questions throughout, please put them in the chat, but we will come back and stop for questions as well.
All right, thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome.
So hello, everyone. I'm Christopher, and I'm working here at LVI in Sweden. And I will be a part of this webinar, mainly showing you the products and some of the features that Kimberly just covered. And I may, of course, be repeating some of it. And I will be standing here in between those 2 products. I got the Voice 2 on one of the desks, and I got the MagniLink Vision on the other desk. I will do it this way. We'll cover a short list of things that are similar with the products and things that are different with the products or between the products. And then we're going to dive into some of the features on both products. And I will end my little session here with a few examples of user tasks. But before we dive into the products, Kimberly covered some about the LVI, and there are only a few things I would like to add. Kimberly mentioned we're an old company in this industry, and we are today about 55 employees within the company. We have subsidiaries throughout Europe, and as Kimberly mentioned, of course, the one in the US. And we are developing and making all products here in the headquarters in Sweden, where I am right now. Starting with a few things that are similar with these products. They can both do text-to-speech, OCR documents, and the machine will read out loud for you. The hand controller that Kimberly mentioned a few times is the same hand controller on both units, and I will show you more in depth in just a minute. Both products can capture a full page when they do the OCR, when the machine is going to read the page for you. And both products are not only using the same type of hand controller, they are also using the same software, meaning that if you know the Voice 2, you know the Vision. If you know the Vision, you know the Voice 2. A couple of things that are different between the products. Well, a few things you can obviously see here. Looking at the vision, this is our desktop CCTV with the 23-inch monitor. The Voice 2 doesn't have a monitor, but as Kimberly said, on the side of the unit, you have an HDMI port, so you are able to plug it into an external monitor and then get the same live view and scan view, as I will show you later on the Vision. That can be done by the Voice 2 as well. The portability is, of course, more on the Voice 2 product. Even though Kimberly mentioned the MagniLink Vision is very lightweight for being such a big product, she also mentioned the handles. The handles are those two that are actually holding the lights, one on each side. You can easily grab them and pick the device up and move it within your home. It's not portable in the way where you can easily bring it with you, but it's movable. The Voice 2 is more of a portable product with its 5 pounds and the case that Kimberly mentioned that it comes with. Got a nice handle, a nice shoulder strap. It's easy to open it with the orange zippers. And inside, you got some orange and some black to give you good contrasts. The case is also having hard sides. So it's standing up nicely and it's very protected. The MagniLink Vision, the desktop, is made for low vision users. The Voice 2 can also be used by totally blind persons. And again, I will explain more in just a bit. On the Vision, the text-to-speech is an option. You can use it just as a magnifier. On the Voice 2, text-to-speech is a must. Looking more in depth on the product, starting with the hardware. I will slide the MagniLink Vision to show you on the side. It has a very sleek design with the big monitor in front being held by this wide body. On the back, you have 3 USB ports. One will always be used by the controller that will be controlling your text-to-speech features that I will show you in a bit. But you will always have 2 available USB ports if you'd like to save and or open documents by using a USB flash drive. There is also an earphone plug-in, a 3.5 port. As mentioned, the Vision also comes with this XY table, and I think our XY table is a very nice design one. We've put a lot of efforts and actually some costs into it with the curved edge, so that will give the user a very nice ergonomic way of resting their hands while they're moving the XY table. We're also using 2 plates instead of only 1. One is, of course, the main surface, but there is also a second plate in between, just on top of the rails, protecting the user's fingers and protecting the rails from dirt. If there is too much dirt in here, the rails will become more, it will be harder to move after a while. On the Vision, you have this front panel. Kimberly mentioned that we have a new version of this Vision now, where we have added a few features. So on the left, you have on-off. Then I will move right on the panel. You got brightness. You got autofocus on and off. If you want to turn off autofocus and focus on an object, for example. You got the zoom in and out, plus and minus in the center of the panel. You got guiding lines or reference lines. There is also masking available. And then all the way on the right, we got the high contrast. So if let's say, I'd like to add a high contrast here. So we can put white text on black background as an example. I can always easily go back to true full color. It remembers my last used high contrast, so it's easy for me to toggle back and forth. Let's say in case I'm reading a magazine, I'm reading the text with my high contrast, but when I'm looking at pictures, I prefer to have true natural color. Then it's very easy for me to toggle between my high contrast, whichever that may be, let's say white on blue maybe. And then I can easily go back to the true color very quickly. Kimberly mentioned a couple of times that we are focusing when we make our products and design and develop them to make them as easy to use as possible. We know that that's still a top priority by most users in this industry. That was the magnification part of the MagniLink Vision, using this control panel in front of the monitor. When I would like to do the text-to-speech part, where the machine is going to read for me, on the back of the screen, there is a magnet. So the external controller will be held by the magnet on the back of the screen. I just grab it. I press the orange button in the bottom. The machine will now move over to the text-to-speech part of it, where it gives me an orange frame. Everything else on the edges is black. This will help me to orient where I'd like to place my documents. I have my full page within this frame now, and I press the orange button again, and it will scan and start to read what's on the page. But before I do so, we're going to cover the hardware on the Voice 2. So the Voice 2, let me come a little closer here. Same thing, same concept. You got a magnet on the back where the controller is. You also have 2 available USB ports. There is 3 in total, but one will always be used by this controller. And there is the same 3.5 earphone plug. On the sides, that's where you have your tactile on-off button. And you have tactile HDMI port. And all the way down, there is your AC plug to charge the device. This one runs on battery. It runs in fully use for about 5 hours. It takes about 2.5 hours to charge it from 0 to full. And you can charge it while you're using it. The handle, as you can see where I'm holding the device now, on top. When I place it on my desk, I give the handle a little push backwards, and the handle becomes my camera arm. So the camera is now on the top front handle part. I mentioned before that the Voice 2 is designed also to be used by blind people. And in order for them to be able to use it, I'm coming very close now because I want you to hopefully see these 2 small orientation tabs in the bottom base of the product. They are coming out a little bit, and they are there to help or support the user to know where to place their document. The document can be correctly placed, sideways, or upside down. It doesn't matter. The machine will automatically rotate the image for you when it's processing the scan. So with the help of these 2 tabs, I know where to slide in my document. I give the handle a very slight push. I grab my controller, the same thing as I showed you on the Vision. I press the orange square button on the bottom. It's all tactile, and it will scan and start to read. Both me and Kimberly mentioned that you can have these 2. Again, they have the same software inside their machines. They can be run in what we call the simple mode or in advanced mode. Let me cover the simple mode for you. And before I do so, I can also mention that, as Kimberly said, you have voice feedback on everything. So as soon as I hit any button here, it will explain what the button is, what function there is, and how to control that function. So instead of me playing with the device while I'm talking, because then you will hear 2 voices at the same time, I'm going to explain and then show you a couple of the functions. And again, I'm repeating, same thing on both products now. On the top of the controller, I have an LED lamp, an LED light. it's currently in green. That's telling me that the machine is set in simple mode. And this is how we deliver the device. If I turn it over to advanced mode, which I will be doing in just a minute, the lamp will turn into blue. So starting on the bottom here, the big orange square button, that will be the one I push to take the photo or capture the picture, the image, and it will start to read. Above that, in simple mode, I have my volume. By turning the knob, I change the reading volume. When I press the knob, I stop the reading. When I press it again, I continue the reading. Above, I have my reading speed. So when I turn the knob above, I change the reading speed. I can make it slower or faster. Above the two dials, I have 3 buttons. They are all coming out nicely from the remote. They are all tactile, and it's button 1, 2, and 3. Starting from the bottom, button 3. That in simple mode is my favorite function. As default, we have set navigation there. So if I press that one, the machine will say navigation. Turn the control to navigate. That means the control below. When I turn that, I will navigate in the text forward or backwards. I can navigate word by word, sentence by sentence, letter by letter, block by block, or page by page if I have pages appended. The 2 buttons on the top will take me between my, so let me show you that. I will press button number 2 here. It's tactile. That will take me back to live. So now we're live in the magnification of the CCTV. Now I'm able to do the panel on the screen again. I press button number 2 again, the same button. It takes me back to this orange frame area where I'm now ready to scan my next page and it will start to read for me. When I have a scan page, so let's do that now. Let's scan this. I press, you remember the orange button on the bottom? You hear the camera noise. You hear a few beeps.
Thank you for choosing LVI. You've made a great choice. Let us explain why. Development and construction adjusted.
I press the stop dial or the pause dial. So hopefully you noticed how fast it starts to read. But that wasn't our main focus when we did the tweaks within the software. Because speed is one thing, but you still want the machine to be as accurate as possible. For some, that's even more important. Of course, in the best of worlds, it's fast and accurate. And I believe we have done a good job so far, having a fast scanning and a very accurate result. So now we were at button number 1 on the top. And I told you that one, so now we're looking at the scan page. If I continue to read.
Before delivery, according to our unit.
We're still at the scan page. But if I'd like to take another scan, let's say, no, that wasn't in my interest for now. I press button number 1. It takes me back to the orange square area where I'm now ready to slide in my next page, hit the orange button in the bottom. It will scan and start to read that page instead. If I slide in another page and I press and hold the orange button for about 2 seconds, it will give me a little beep and say text appended. That means I'm appending text behind the first page. So I can scan multiple pages and then have it read all of them in one row, starting with the first page, of course. Before I continue, I'm just making sure I'm very clear. I'm now grabbing the controller on the voice tube. You can see on the top, it's green. The LED light is green. That's telling us we are in simple mode also on this machine. And all the buttons are doing the same thing as on the Vision, because again, it's the same controller and same software. The only difference here is that button number 2 is not active and button number 1 is not active. The reason is there is no monitor here showing you anything, so there is no reason to be able to go between the live mode and the last scan picture mode because you don't see them anyways. So the machine will just say button has no function.
Button has no function.
So don't be afraid. There is nothing, you can't do anything wrong. You can't get lost. The machine will give you voice feedback on anything you do. I'll grab the controller for the vision now as we continue. So now I think we're ready to go over to the advanced mode. And in the advanced mode, to do so, in order to do so, I will press and hold the upper dial for about 5-6 seconds. I'm doing so now. Continue to press.
Profile set to advanced.
Again, it's giving me voice feedback, what's going on. The LED light is now blue. So what we have done is we went from simple mode to advanced mode. But even in advanced mode, it's very simple to use the machine. And the reason you want to be in advanced mode is if you want to have access to a few more features or functions. In simple mode, that's where those who are just happy with the very basics. Scan, listen, pause, play, that's it. For those who'd like to be able to do a few more things, advanced mode will be the setup for them. Starting on the bottom, just to be very clear, as I did in the simple mode, the orange square button will do the same thing, scan the page. The lower dial, will do the same thing as in simple mode. By turning, I'm changing the volume.
Volume 100.
By pressing, I will stop. And press again, I will continue the reading. The upper dial, that's where we have now made a change. So in simple mode, I only have the reading speed here when I'm turning the knob. But now in advanced mode, when I'm turning, I will enter a menu. The menu will appear in the center of in the lower center of the screen. And again, I will have voice feedback on everything in there. So let me go through the menu, but I will stop talking and let the machine do it for us because we can't have two voices at the same time here, mine and the machine's. So let's go through it.
Speed. Navigation. Handle document. Press to select.
Handle document, press to select. So that's where I'm going to press if I'd like to save and or open a document from a USB drive that I have plugged in the back.
Column mode. Press to enable.
So column mode, press to enable.
Display mode. Press to select. Picture and line. Quiet mode back. Picture, word, line, page. Display mode.
So I now changed to display mode. That means how we are following the text. So let me scan this page. How it was before was we had the picture in the...
Thank you for choosing LVI. You've made a great choice.
The original page in the center and the word that was read out loud in the bottom as a line. Now I changed to just a text where it's highlighting the word that's being read. Of course, I could change the contrast here. Now it's yellow on black, but it could be any color combo, more or less. I can also magnify it to make it smaller or bigger.
Choice. Let us explain why. Development and construction adjusted before delivery.
Continue in the menu.
Graphics. Press to select.
Graphics, that's taking me to a sub-menu, just a small one, where I can make a few graphic settings like changing the font size.
Magnification.
And then I have
turn the other knob to adjust.
The magnification. It said turn the other knob to adjust. That's how easy it is to understand because you only have two knobs. It told me to turn the other knob. And then we will magnify this page. Let's say I'm having a magazine here and I don't want to capture the full page. I only want to capture part of it or a column. Then I can magnify that specific part, scan, and it will read that part.
Volume. Turn the other knob to adjust.
And we're back where we started. The buttons on the top, those three are the same in simple and advanced mode. So that's how easy it is, even in advanced mode. And again, sorry for repeating, but it's the same on the voice too. If I change that unit into advanced mode, the light will be blue and I have access to the same functions in the same menu. Where are we on time? Okay, we're doing okay. One more thing to tell about this machine. There are many things, of course, but one thing I would like to explain briefly is there is also a settings menu. So you have simple mode and advanced mode. Those are the two modes. You have to choose how to use the machine. But in order to set up the machine for the client, or the client itself may be capable of doing so, you press those two dials at the same time and hold them for about 5 seconds. Then you will enter a settings menu. In the settings menu, you can turn a few features on and off. You can also change the reading voice. Maybe you'd like to have a male voice or female voice or another language, or you want to turn off the automatic language detection, meaning that, for those of you who are not aware, let's see where I have the same type of document. Thank you for choosing LVI, but I have it in Swedish. And I'm pretty sure we got the automatic language detection turned on. So now I'm sliding in a Swedish paper below the camera within the orange frame. I'm hitting the orange button. It's processing.
Att du valde en VI. Du har gjort ett bra val. Låt oss berätta varför. Utveckling.
And I'm pretty sure most of you are not recognizing that language, but that was Swedish. I know that very well. So if you're bilingual, that's a good feature, of course, in both products, where you can jump between, let's say, English and maybe Spanish, or English and French, whatever it may be. It will automatically read what's under the camera. One other main difference between the products, and that's pretty obvious, but I will now press button number 2. That will take me out to live again here. Most of the times we're talking about documents and texts, how you can sign a paper, how you can read a paper, either if the machine is doing it for you, or if you do it with your eyes, using magnification and some of the features helping you to see better. You can sign papers, you can read, you can do crosswords, but it's not always all about paper. Sometimes you may want to be able to see some objects maybe. I just have a few examples that I could find in my office here, but I think if you can be a little creative helping me here, I think you can understand what I mean. Maybe it could be that I'd like to see what types of cords or cables I have in my hand. What type of cable is this? That would be impossible for me to find out by looking at it, holding it in my hand. So maybe the CCTV can help me. This looks like a female HDMI here. And here is another one. I know it's a display port, but maybe the CCTV could have helped me if I didn't know. The autofocus could be a help here too, where instead of focusing on my hand moving around, I'd like to focus on the object. Another scenario could be that I have anything. In this case, another type of controller or remote key. But there's a lot of text and information on the back on the sticker on the back of the controller. It's very small, even for me. It gives me a couple of good, important information. Let's say this one breaks, and I would like to call the manufacturer or the supplier and explain the situation. And they are asking me, can you give me the article number or the serial number? That's another scenario, of course, where I maybe may want to use my CCTV for some help. And that's how clear it becomes. It's super small, but now I can make it almost as big as I'd like. As Kimberly said, up to 70 times magnification. And then I can find out what they like, what they need to know. I also brought another thing that I'm thinking would be a pretty common scenario, changing batteries on something. In this case, I got my own mouse, computer mouse. Changing the batteries, knowing where to open the mouse. Let's see. And of course, even more so, what types of batteries are there, and in what direction are they being put in? A couple of examples of user tasks. One is looking more on objects, maybe doing handcrafting. That's of course when the CCTV is the choice of product compared to a reader or a scanner. Let's say a user receives 3 pages, 3-page reports that exceeds their ability to read without assistive technology. In that case, either the voice or the vision could be the solution. Because as I said before, you can easily just go to the text-to-speech part, scan the first page, then slide over to the second page, press and hold to scan and append it, and then slide over to the third page, scan and hold until it says text appended, and then you're ready to read all 3 pages at once. And with the navigation feature, you can always go backwards and re-listen to a certain part. Or maybe there's a number combination there. Maybe my own phone number is there. And then you can easily just stop the machine, go to navigation, letter by letter, and have every time you turn the control dial, it will say 0, 7, 0, 3, 7, whatever the combo may be. It could also be helpful for someone to take notes. Let's say the user is extremely low vision and needs to read a recipe. I'm pretty sure that's a common task. I printed one because I didn't have a recipe book here in Sweden that was in English, and I didn't think that I should show you a Swedish one. So I printed a recipe, but just to give you the idea. This is the best ever macaroni cheese recipe. I lived in the US for about 1.5 years. And when I moved over, that was in 2018 when we started LBI America, I had never heard about mac and cheese before. Kimberly likes that story. Anyways, I'm sliding in the recipe underneath my voice. I grab my controller, I hit the orange square button in the bottom. You get the sound feedback.
Best ever macaroni cheese recipe. Ingredients: 50 grams baguette, cut into small chunks, 2 tablespoons butter, plus 1 tablespoon melted, 350 grams spiral or other short pasta, 1 garlic clove.
And then it's starting to read, starting with the ingredients, and then the method is step by step below. So let me just speed up the process because I already have my ingredients prepared. So let's go to the step 1. I'm in simple mode. So button number 3 above the upper dial will be the navigation. I press.
Speed 105.
I thought I would press.
Volume 195.
That's a bummer. Of course, the demo ghost would come at the end of this session. I'm switching hand control from the Vision since we're using the same on both products. Let's see if that will work, do the trick.
Speed 110.
Hand control removed.
That didn't want to work today. That is a bummer.
Hand control plugged in.
So let's do it on the Vision then.
Hand control removed.
So let's see.
Profile set to simple.
So I changed the unit back to simple. I'm now going to scan this page because we have the thank you for choosing LBI document scan. And then we'll see if the Vision can do it for us.
Best ever macaroni cheese recipe. Ingredients, 50 grams.
So we wanted to skip the ingredients part. I'm pausing or stopping, and I'm pressing button number 3.
Christopher, I think that on that one you've reprogrammed the buttons. That's the problem. And they're
yes, correct. I just realized now when I'm seeing that.
Yeah, they're not in default mode. They're in, yeah. So you can reprogram the buttons for number 3 to be anything. Normally by default, he's wanting it to go to navigation. Would do.
Press to select reading menu for automatic sound profile. Column must standby mode. Graphics display mode about. Configure simple profile display mode. Column selector press to select. Column mode navigation for button 3 set to navigation. Exit settings.
There you go.
So I quickly went into the settings menu and I changed the simple mode favorite function here on the button number 3. This is how it's being shipped in default. So let's try one more time. I'm sorry about this. So number 3.
Navigation. Press the function control to select or turn the control to navigate.
So first it's telling me press the control to choose how to navigate. Again, letter by letter, word by word, sentence by sentence, block by block, or just turn to navigate. Now it's set to word by word.
Baguette, cut into small chunks, bullet 2.
So each time I turn it one step, one click, it moves one word. You can do it backward or forward.
2.
But let's press it instead.
Spell, word by word sentence. Sentence selected.
And do sentence by sentence.
Turn the baguette chunks over a back-end sheet. Drizzle.
So by turning one time, I went down to method step 1. And it's reading a little too fast for me, so I will change that.
Best ever macaroni cheese recipe ingredients. 50 grams baguette. Speed 115. Speed 95. It into small chunks. 2 tables. Navigation. Spread the baguette chunks over a back-end sheet. Drizzle with the melted butter and season. Season. Bake for 6 minutes until crisp. Then set aside.
And then it will continue to step 2. To summarize, there are some similarities. There are some parts that differ with products. There are, of course, many different ways of using them, many different types of clients that could benefit from having either one of the products. We have covered some of the features. We have covered some examples of user tasks. We went with the basics, some simple scenarios. Of course, the more creative the user is, the more creative the accessories, the sky is the limit, I would say. They can do a lot of great things. And that's the reason why we have simple mode and advanced mode, for example, because we know that there are so many different types of users out there, some needing the simple, some needing more. And that's our way of offering the same product to multiple different types of users. And within the settings, as Kimberly said in the beginning, it's easy to customize the product for my needs. You just saw me when I had some troubles here at the end, changing the favorite button back from probably my colleague that had a demo maybe yesterday, and he or she changed it to changing the viewing modes real quickly on my favorite button, but as default, it's navigation. And you saw me taking it back to navigation real quick. Of course, if I now turn off the machine and turn it back on, it will come up as I turn it off. It will remember, automatically save the functions that I'm setting here. Kimberly, anything you'd like to add? Kathy, anything you'd like to add? Or are there any questions out there?
So Christopher, this has came up before and I just kind of wanted to address it. I've had some people say their products are similar. I do understand the differences. However, could a blind person use the vision versus the voice? And my answer is always, well, sure, they could use it, but it's not as simple to put the piece of paper in that orange square. And so, you know, you've got the paper guides there. And so we made the voice specifically for that. Do you have any other comments on that?
No, that's exactly how I would have answered it too. On the vision, it's harder when I go to the square. Oh, I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button there. When I go to the orange square area where I'm preparing to scan the page, it's hard for someone that's totally blind to know where the document is between the square, because there is no support to find that area compared to on the Voice 2, where you got those two paper guides or orientation tabs. That makes it very easy for someone, as I said before, to slide in the paper upside down, doesn't matter. Press, ready to go.
I'm just thinking of someone who purchased the Vision and then maybe their eyesight was getting worse. You could probably adapt that XY table with bump dots or maybe tape or something to make it tactile. And I'm not saying you want to do that with a brand new machine if you bought that one instead of the other one. I'm just saying if you owned a Vision and then you were having trouble lining up your document, you could figure out a way to make that orange square a little bit tactile.
Absolutely. Christopher, another question just came up. They said on the Voice, if you use the HDMI connector for the monitor, do you have to download anything for from LVI, a special software or anything for the text to show up on the screen? Do you want to go ahead and answer that?
Great question, and the answer is no. You don't need to do anything other than getting the right source on the monitor, like you have to do with anything you plug into a monitor. So you grab the HDMI that actually comes with the device, it's included, the HDMI cable. So you plug it into the HDMI port, the other part, of course, the other end into the monitor. You turn on the monitor, and as soon as you got the right source on the monitor, like HDMI 1 or 2 or whatever you choose, it will automatically appear. And like I said before, it will look exactly the same as it does on the Vision. So you will get a live view where you are able to sign a paper or do some very basics, because the scanner or the Voice 2 doesn't have an optical zoom high-end camera. This is more of a digital camera that it's supposed to just be more of a scanner. Here you got the CCTV with this very crisp, very wide magnification range featured camera. So there are some differences, but yes, that's how you can easily connect it to a monitor and use it like that. And the main use for doing so is, of course, when you have a scan page and you can follow along in the text. I realize now that this is very small for you, but you can make this almost as big as you'd like, and then follow along in the text like you do on the Vision here while it's reading.
Very good. I think the other thing, and I know we've talked about it, but the Voice has a battery, so it's totally transportable and portable. You don't have to have it plugged into power, where the Vision has to be plugged in. We don't have a battery option. So that also comes up. A lot of times people say, well, I want to get a battery on that. Well, you can't. It has to be plugged in. It's more of a desktop unit. Doesn't mean you can't move it, as you saw Christopher pick it up, but it is designed to be desktop and to be plugged in. It does not have a battery option. So if whether you're low vision or have no vision, if you need something that's portable or transportable, the voice is what you want. The vision is not the best solution for that. Not saying you can't move it, but it is not what we would call transportable or portable. Just a quick little review, voice or vision. They're both great products, but they both have specific goals. Again, the voice being very transportable, very portable. You have a battery option. Someone with no vision at all can use the voice very easily. The paper guides are there to guide the paper in. The software is the same between both. They both speak to you as you're using it. You only can get the voice with text to speech. That's the only way. You wouldn't get the voice and not get text to speech. It just makes no sense. Remember, with the voice, you can plug it into a monitor. We send the cables. We actually assume that people will probably do that. So we send very high-end cables. That also has an actual case because it's portable, transportable. You can move it from room to room. The vision, what makes the vision stand out would be the 23-inch monitor, the oversized XY table, if you're trying to do large books, those types of things. The monitor, I don't know if Christopher showed this and I missed it, but the monitor does go up and down and it tilts also. So that is something that's really pretty cool. This one is a desktop model. It can be moved, but again, it's considered a desktop model. That's not the thing that stands out about it. The thing that stands out is the 23-inch monitor, the great oversized XY table, the crisp, clean image. So this is more of a visual type of a product, where the other one is more listening. And the vision, you have the ability of getting it with or without text to speech. You do not have the ability to get it without plugging it in. You can't get it with a battery. You have to plug it in. Thank you very much for attending. We are here to assist you. I'm Kimberly Klein. You can always reach out to me at any time at 702-468-6611. That's also my cell phone, so feel free to call or text, or reach out to me on my email, kimberly.klein@lviamerica.com. We also have Christopher Caswell. Thank you so much, Christopher, for a great presentation today. Did not put his phone number because he lives in Sweden, but his email is Christopher, CHRISTOFER, so it's spelled a little differently than we do here in America, .Caswell, CASSWALL, @LVI.SE. You can also reach out to Catherine, and you will be reaching out to Catherine if you're wanting to get ACV REP credits. You need to send her an email today, letting her know you attended. She'll send you the form. Again, you'll need the entrance and the exit code. You can reach out to Catherine at Catherine Gettel. It's GETTEL, and that's 802-236-4404, catherine.gettel@lviamerica.com. Is there any last minute questions or anything? Well, thank you then so much for attending. We appreciate it. We hope that you join us again in a couple weeks. Again, we did we will put up the recording, and we'll have that available for you guys in a couple weeks, and that'll be on our YouTube channel. All of our past recordings are up there. So if you are having a hard time finding one or just have any questions, feel free to reach out to any one of us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.